It's 3 o'clock and it's Thursday, so that means it's time for Travel Talks. So I'm Diane Cook and I own 7 Seas to Sea Travel. Each Thursday at 3, I invite one of my suppliers and we have a wonderful little presentation about their particular product, what makes them unique, their destination. In this case, we have Michael joining us from CroisiEurope, and I love CroisiEurope, especially for their themed cruises, their hike and cruise options. They also have family, culinary, wine, cycling. Am I missing any?
That's about it for the theme, but
That's
yeah, you got it.
Oh, and Festive, of course, Festive.
But yes,
Festive as well. And so Michael has been working hard. He's located in New York, just outside of New York City. And it's a really, I really appreciate you joining us today and spending this time with us. So we're just going to go ahead and you can share your screen and you can also take it away.
Sure. Okay, guys. Thanks for joining. Can you see my screen okay here? You can see the slide that's up?
Yep, absolutely.
Perfect. My name is Mike DaCosta. I'm with CroisiEurope River Cruises. We are a French river cruise line based in Strasbourg in the Alsace, but we have got ships all over Europe. I am from the New York office, so I work with everybody who's buying CroisiEurope here in the United States and in Canada. And I've been doing this for about 6 years, and I've been selling river cruises for about 10 years now. So it's been a really good time for river cruises. More recently, it's been a little bit of a challenging time, but we're coming back, and we're planning to come back strong once everybody's safe to travel again. So we're looking forward to that. I'm going to give you a quick overview of the company, and then a little bit more specific about some of our theme cruises. And then if you guys have any questions for me, I'm gonna stick around for that as well. So a little bit about CroisiEurope. As I mentioned, we're a French family-run company with over 40 years of experience. This is actually the 45th year for CroisiEurope in operation. So we've got a long history. We've been through a lot. We've grown a lot. We've changed a lot throughout that time, and we hope to be around for many years in the future as well. This has 50 plus ships listed of every shape and size. I think the most recent count, we're up to 56 ships at this time. Every year there's something new to offer and somewhere new to go. All those ships are really quite small. The biggest ship that we sell now, I think now that we have one that's 200 passengers, as it says, that's as big as we go. Our smallest ships are just 16 passengers. In France, we have a bunch of barges that are about 22 passengers. Most of our river ships are in the 100 passenger range. These are state-of-the-art ships, clean, comfortable, with some modern designs. You'll see that every year we do refurbishments on all of our ships, keep them up to shape for you, and keep them as green as possible, as new as possible, and as comfortable as possible. We really try and offer the best value for money in the industry. We are all inclusive, and yet our price points really try and stay as low as possible. That's always been the goal from our founders, the Schmitter family. They're a family. It's a family company. They've always welcomed families on board, and they want to make river cruising accessible to as many people as possible. You're going to have an international experience with us. It's not just Americans on board. It's people from all over Europe, French, Germans, Spanish, people from Asia, English, Americans, Canadians, are all going to be there together. And to me, that's really unique. You're traveling to Europe to have that kind of an experience, to meet other people from other cultures, and you'll do that with us. We're all inclusive on board. I mentioned that with the value for money, but that means that all your meals are included, your drinks are included, and the shore excursions are included as well. We have a number of exclusive destinations. We're the only cruise line on the Loire Valley in France, in Andalusia in southern Spain, and we have a new ship we have 2 ships now operating in Zimbabwe on Lake Kariba, which is totally a new destination for us. And our itineraries, most river cruises are 7 nights and up. We do things a little differently. We start at about 3 nights. It goes up from there. We do have the 7-night programs, but these three-night programs are good for people who want to just give river cruising a try. If it's your first time doing it, if you're traveling to Europe and you want to tack on a river cruise in the Rhine Valley, you can do it for just a few nights and then head out and do something on your own afterwards. French cuisine on board, as I mentioned, we are French. The food on board our ships is really fantastic, fine French dining. Our chefs are all classically trained in French cuisine. You're going to be just eating very well and always with local touches, local ingredients, depending on where you're cruising. This is our ship, the Loire Princess, which is on the Loire River. You can see it's a paddle wheel ship, a little bit different of a design than most of the river ships that you're going to come across. And I just want to go over a little bit about our ships. Even though we have such a variety of ships, size, shape, and style, all of them come with some standard amenities, and that includes the simple floor plans. We typically have one or two decks, sometimes up to 3 decks, but the cabins are all about the same. So you're not going to be trying to figure out what's this, what's that. You can be pretty confident you're going to have a nice, comfortable cabin, and you can pick which deck you want to be on. Convertible double-bedded cabins, so that means that you can have your beds together or 2 twin beds in the room. So no matter who's traveling together, it's really up to you how you want to arrange that. All of our ships have the lounge bar, which has a dance floor. Drinks are included, so any downtime or time spent cruising, you can hang out in the lounge and see the scenery passing by. You can take drinks up to the sun deck and sit out on a deck chair. And at night, you'll find a lot of people kind of dancing out on the dance floor and having some fun after hours. We do have Wi-Fi on board. That's always a question I get. It's included and it goes throughout the ship. I always tell people, if you really, if you need to be connected on board, you may want to look into having your own plan as well. You're going to be cruising, you're going to be moving, but it's there for you when you're in port. You can always check email, you can surf on the web, but really you should be taking our excursions, going hiking, going walking, seeing the city. Our French style gastronomy I already covered, our all-inclusive package, and then there's a gift shop on board all of our ships as well. Just a few ideas of what some of our cabins look like. You can see the kind of modern design that we're going for across our fleet. And again, in the design on the restaurants and the lounges. And just to cover quick our destinations, we have more cruises in France than anybody else, and for us, it's our biggest destination. We cruise on the Seine Valley out of Paris, from Strasbourg on the Rhine, in Burgundy and Provence on the Rhone Valley. We have cruises in Bordeaux, and as I mentioned before, the Loire River for the Loire Valley. And then Southern Europe. Portugal's Douro Valley, which has become one of the most popular destinations. We actually have 6 ships cruising there now. A really great area for river cruising. But as I mentioned before, we also have river cruises in Spain, down on the Guadalquivir, through Andalusia. And in Italy now, we've had a ship that operated in the Venetian Lagoon and around the Venetian Lagoon. It's starting hopefully this year. It's going to be cruising Venice to Mantua on the Canal Bianco, which goes right along the Po River through the Veneto and Emilia Romagna. And Northern Europe, we cover the romantic Rhine Valley, which is just like the quintessential river cruise. We go up and into Holland through the canals of Belgium, and the Havel River, which is a little bit less traveled and one that we travel with some of our smaller ships. And then the Blue Danube, which is like the #2 most popular river cruise, including the Danube capitals, Vienna, Budapest, Bratislava, but we also go all the way out to the Black Sea, visit Bucharest. And we have some programs in Prague as well. We actually have 2 ships on the Elbe River, the Elbe Princess, the Elbe Princess 2. They'll do Prague to Berlin, or some round trip Prague programs, which are just in Czechia. And we have a series of coastal cruises too. The Belle de l'Adriatique is our first coastal ship. It's a 4-deck ship. It's just 200 passengers. It really operates like a river cruise, but it's doing the Dalmatian coast. for most of the season. It does a little bit of Greece, and then you'll find it in other places in the Mediterranean in the off season. It's just a bit of the bell. And canal cruises. These are our 22 passenger canal barges. We have these all over France. They are, the product is just like a river cruise, all inclusive, all meals, drinks, tours, but the experience is a lot different. It's a really intimate experience, just 22 people on board, a really intimate region. The cruises cover a small little area, and so you're really getting to know the people, the region that you're in. And there's lots of great itineraries and excursions to choose from. You can see the Raymond right down there by the Eiffel Tower. We cruise from Paris out to Champagne, which is one of the best cruises I think we offer. You're starting right in the city and you're going out into the countryside on this little canal boat. And this is a little of the design on board those ships. And lastly, our cruises around the world. So we do offer cruises on the Mekong River. We have a number of ships there. You'll see that there's itineraries anywhere from 9 to 11 days. You're cruising Ho Chi Minh City on the Mekong River, smaller size ships, really local guides. We actually have our own office right in Cambodia. And adventures in Southern Africa. Again, these are our newest ships. They're 2 safari cruise ships that operate in Zimbabwe on Lake Kariba. They hold just 16 people. We pair them with a lodge that's right on the border of Namibia and Botswana. So you're doing 3 nights on land in the lodge, 3 nights on board the ship cruising. We do some South Africa and an end off in Victoria Falls. So onto the theme cruises, which Diane has asked me to talk about, and she's offering, she's going to be offering a cruise doing some hiking in Portugal, which I think is just a great program. But these are always really unique and really interesting for people who want something a little bit more niche than a typical river cruise. Cycling programs we offer. We have great guides who provide the bikes, do all of the maintenance for you, do all of the route planning. We do those right alongside the rivers and also on our canals in France. They're a good fit. We can do these on basically any cruise we offer in Europe for small groups. And so it's really kind of a custom fit for each group, what they want to do and how far they want to go. I'll skip down to the gastronomic and the wine cruises. We offer a lot of wine cruises. As a French company, wine is always an important part of these programs, but these wine cruises that we offer really try and coincide with the harvest. We get to meet people who are working in the vineyards. We get to learn about the history of the wine. Every year we do a cruise for the release of Beaujolais Nouveau, for example. And it's a great fit with river cruising because you're already cruising right through the heart of the wine country. And the last thing here is the hiking cruises. We offer these on a number of rivers. These actually are open for booking year round. There's guides that have been with us year after year and have really honed these hiking experiences and kind of picked the best places to do them, the best itineraries. And you'll get to experience one of these if you travel with Diane in 2022. And that one's going to be the Douro Valley, which I think is a great location for hiking. So the program is 7 nights. It's an all-inclusive, again, which means your meals, your drinks, and all of the hiking tours are already wrapped up into the price. The hiking is right through the vineyards and the hillsides that spot the Douro River. These are guided tours with small groups, so they do move at the pace of the group. So you don't have to worry really about it being too aggressive or too slow for you. But you should be prepared to be up and on your feet for a few hours a day and hiking. And then picnic lunches with sweeping views. A lot of these days spent hiking, you're going to have lunch out on the hike with a view like what you see in the background here. So it's really something that you can't beat and you can't get anywhere else. See if I can't get this to go here. Well, this is supposed to be a little video on the Douro, but it doesn't seem like it's loading. So I'll go to the next slide over and I'll just talk a little bit about the day-to-day on the hiking on the Douro program. The program starts right in Porto, which is basically the heart of the Douro Valley. It's Portugal's second biggest city, and it's really a fantastic city. A little bit, I'd say, more historic. Not necessarily more historic than Lisbon, but Lisbon is a really cosmopolitan city. It's a great city now. Porto is more traditional Portuguese. It's the home of the port wine houses, so you can go and visit those right in town. It's a very hilly city, which is a great city to walk around and explore on foot. And so the first day actually is spent just in the city doing the guided tour of Porto, not quite going out into the hikes in the hills yet, but you'll still feel like you can get a good hike in right inside the city there. On day 3, you move on the hikers program, and you're hiking to Provençal. This is one of the oldest cities in Portugal. It's a really tiny little city, but up in the hills, right up in the vineyards. And they have a great history of winemaking, which you'll learn about as you hike up and through there. Day 4 of the cruise brings you to Salamanca. Again, it's a day off of the normal hiking program, but it's the only day spent fully in Spain. And Salamanca is another really great city to see. It's a university city, so it's always really lively. This is a full day program that we offer on all of our Douro River cruises. Day 5 is another day hiking up in the mountains along the Douro Valley. You'll actually go up to the Vultures Cliff, which is going to be one of the most scenic spots that you'll see throughout the entire cruise. This is panoramic views across the Douro Valley and even into Spain, and you'll have the picnic lunch right up there. Day 6 is another day hiking through the vineyards, and this is really in the heart of the winemaking region of the Douro Valley. And on day 7, the ship is back in Porto, but we go and we hike along the cliffs that are out towards the estuary of the river. So you're going to have views back into Porto and to the west out to the Atlantic Ocean. So it's a good way to kind of cap off a week of cruising and hiking on the Douro Valley with views over the ocean, over the city, and over the river. And that's it. I'll leave it there. I'm happy to answer questions if Diane has anything, or if any of you want to pop in here.
For sure. If anybody has any questions, you can definitely put them in the chat box. And just a couple things to mention. First, if you're a cyclist, or let's say you have, a multi-generational family, or perhaps, your spouse is like an avid cycler and you'll do it, but this is not your favorite thing. I mean, the cycling is for all levels, and you might see somebody with a club jersey, but I mean the majority are going to be your normal every day, just for an enjoyable cycle ride, and the guides are there with you. And for the hiking, I love your hiking program. So everybody on the group that I'm putting together, I'm signing everybody up for the hiking program because it is so popular. If you are a hiker and you choose, let's say one day you don't want to take the hike, you want to go see the Matus Palace, you can do that. But if you are a non-hiker and you decide you want to hike, it's too late because there's too many people on board signed up for it. So I'm going to sign everybody up for the hiking program, and then you can choose what you want to do. That's okay. And I love what you said about Porto being a hilly town. I mean, your glutes are going to feel it. Believe me, it will. You won't. You'll feel that walk definitely in Porto, and I love the quality of the hiking guides as well that you have on board. I think that is just a fabulous. This is what sets you apart, and what CroisiEurope does different than anybody else. So, you don't need to be hardcore sports enthusiast, it's just, if you like to get on a bike and cycle around and, on the trails at home, that sort of thing, you'd be very comfortable to do that there for sure. Yeah, and also the festives, you know, so the Christmas market's one of my favorite times to be in Europe. You know, give me a glass of glühwein and I'm very happy to roam the markets. Multi-generational families you mentioned as well. That and on those barges with the 22 passengers, fabulous way to do that, you know, and on the barges when it's not a full takeover, like a full charter, is there an age for the children, Michael?
We don't have any age really for children on board. We allow children of all ages. We have discounts even for children who are under 10 years old. So
Okay.
we really welcome everybody on board.
Oh, that's good to know. Perfect. Perfect. All right. I don't see any questions yet coming in the chat box, but that's okay. For any of my clients, know that if you think of a question, please email me. I will get you the answer. And this has just been wonderful. Thank you so much for spending this time with us, Michael. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh, definitely. We can't wait until we can travel again.
Absolutely.
That's right. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Take care. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Dan. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.